welcome back to Sleepers Podcast. I'm Mike. Tonight, we're talking about that quiet ache of feeling like everyone else is moving on without you. Not in a bitter way, not because you don't want good things for them, but because sometimes watching other people find their direction can make your own life feel strangely still. And with me tonight is Veronica. Hey, Veronica.
Hey, Mike. It's good to be here.
Good to have you back. How are you feeling tonight?
Calm, actually. A little tired, but in that nice way where your brain is slower than usual.
That's kind of the perfect speed for this conversation.
Yeah. This topic feels like one you don't want to rush through.
No, I don't think so. Because it's a quiet one. It's not always obvious from the outside. You can be functioning, answering messages, showing up to work, laughing with people, and still feel like life is moving somewhere just out of reach.
Mm-hmm. Like everybody got an invitation to the next part of life, and yours got lost in the mail.
That is painfully accurate.
It's such a weird feeling, too, because you don't always know what you're even sad about. Like your friend gets engaged, and you're genuinely happy. You love them. You want that for them. But then you go home and you're brushing your teeth or making tea or something, and suddenly you feel this little drop in your stomach.
Yeah. And then there's guilt on top of it.
Exactly. Because you're like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy? But I think you are happy. It's just that someone else's milestone can accidentally shine a light on the parts of your life that feel unfinished.
That's a good way to put it. It's not that their happiness takes anything away from you. It just reminds you of what you're still waiting for, or still unsure about.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even the big things. It's not always marriage or babies or houses or whatever. Sometimes it's someone posting that they moved into a new apartment and they have plants and morning sunlight, and you're like, wow, they seem like a person, like a real adult person.
And you're eating cereal at midnight from a mug.
Exactly. Which is fine, by the way.
Honestly practical.
Very practical, less dishes.
But I know what you mean. Sometimes it's the small signs of settledness that hit harder than the obvious milestones.
Yes. Someone having a routine can make me emotional. Like, they go to Pilates, they know what groceries they buy every week, they have a dentist they like. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even know what I want my life to feel like next month.
There's something about other people seeming anchored that can make your own uncertainty feel louder.
That's the word, anchored. And I don't even think they're always as anchored as they look. But from the outside, it can seem like they have this clear path, like they're moving in a straight line. And I'm over here walking in circles, checking the same 3 thoughts every day. I think a lot of people are less certain than they appear. But when we look at them, we usually see the edited version. Not necessarily social media edited, well, that's part of it, but just life edited. We see the announcement, not the doubt before it. Right? You see the new job post, but not the nights they were panicking about applying.
Exactly.
You see the couple photo, not the arguments or the fears or the boring Tuesday where they both felt distant.
You see someone moving to a new city, and it looks brave and exciting, but maybe they spent the first 3 weeks crying in a kitchen they didn't recognize.
Yeah, and I know that. Like, logically, I know everybody's life is messier than it looks. But emotionally, I still compare my behind the scenes to their finished-looking moments.
I think most people do. And it's a very unfair comparison, but it's also very human.
It's so human. And I think it gets worse when you're already in a season where nothing looks impressive. Like, if you're changing internally or healing from something, or trying to figure out what kind of person you are now, there isn't really a cute announcement for that.
No. There's no clean caption for,
I'm trying to understand why I feel so tired all the time.
Exactly. Or I'm learning how to not chase things that make me feel small. Or I'm slowly admitting that the plan I had doesn't fit anymore. That one is huge. Because sometimes you feel behind because you're comparing yourself to your old plan too, not just other people.
That's true.
Like, there's this imaginary version of you who was supposed to have done more by now. And they're kind of haunting you.
The version with the timeline.
Yes. The version who had everything figured out at 25 or 30 or whatever age. And then real life happens and suddenly you're not on that road. Part of you is still measuring yourself against it.
You feel like you missed a train.
Yeah. And then you look around and it seems like everyone else made theirs.
Even if they're on completely different trains, going to completely different places.
Exactly.
But in your head, it's just, they left, I stayed.
That phrase feels very close to the center of this. They left, I stayed.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they really do leave. Friends move away, people get into relationships, and their time changes. Someone you used to talk to every night is suddenly planning a wedding or working late or spending weekends with a whole new group of people.
And nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened. That's what makes it hard to explain.
Because you can't point to a betrayal.
Right. You can't say, they hurt me. They just grew. They got busy. Their life expanded. And maybe yours didn't. At least not in the way people can see.
There's a grief in that.
There really is. A soft grief. Because you're proud of them, but you also miss when you were both in the same little boat.
Yeah. There's comfort in shared uncertainty.
Oh, completely. When everybody's confused together, it almost feels like a sleepover. Like none of us know what we're doing, but at least we're all here.
And then, one by one, people start finding doors.
Yes, they find doors. And you're happy for them. Then the room gets quieter.
That can be very lonely.
It is. And I don't think people talk about that part enough. How other people's growth can change the shape of your daily life. Not because they stop loving you, but because their attention naturally goes somewhere else.
You can understand it and still feel the loss.
Exactly. Understanding doesn't always make it painless.
That's something I think people forget. I often think if we can explain a feeling, we should be over it. But sometimes explanation just helps you hold it a little more gently.
I like that. Because I think with this feeling, people can be so hard on themselves. Like, I'm being jealous, I'm being dramatic, I'm falling behind, I'm wasting time.
The inner voice can get very cruel around timelines.
So cruel. And weirdly specific.
Specific how?
Like, you'll be fine, and then your brain is like, by this age, your parents had a house, 2 kids, and a savings account.
Very helpful.
So helpful. Thank you, brain. Very calming.
And of course, the world is different now. People's lives are different, the economy is different, relationships are different. But that doesn't always stop the comparison from landing.
No, because it's not really a spreadsheet thing. It's emotional. It's that feeling of, am I doing life wrong?
That question sits underneath a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Am I doing life wrong? Did I miss the moment where everyone learned how to choose? how to commit, how to become stable, how to trust themselves.
And it can seem like other people got some instruction manual you didn't receive.
Yes, like they went to a meeting about adulthood that I forgot to attend.
I think a surprising number of people feel that way, even the ones who seem very put together.
I believe that. I really do. Because I've had conversations with people I thought were completely fine. And then they say one honest sentence, and you realize, oh, you're scared too.
And that changes everything for a moment.
It does. It makes the road feel warmer. Not because you want them to struggle, but because you realize nobody is floating above this. Everybody's trying.
Everybody's trying, and most people are improvising more than they admit.
Yeah. I think we underestimate how much of adult life is improvising with a calm face.
That's a very accurate description.
Someone will be like, "We're moving across the country," and they say it so confidently. But inside, they might be thinking, "I hope this doesn't ruin my life."
Right. Confidence and uncertainty can exist at the same time.
Which is comforting, honestly. Because I think when you feel stuck, you assume movement requires certainty. Like, once I know exactly who I am and what I want, then I'll move.
But a lot of people move while still unsure.
Yeah, and sometimes I forget that. I look at their movement and assume it means they're not afraid.
That's a big assumption.
It is, and it's usually wrong.
There's also this pressure to have a clear direction. Even casually, people ask, "What's next for you?" And sometimes it's a normal question, but when you don't know, it can feel like being put under a spotlight.
Oh, I hate that question when I'm in a weird season.
It becomes enormous.
It does. What's next for you? And you want to say, I'm trying to drink enough water and not spiral at 11 p.m.? Is that something?
It counts.
It should count.
I think it does.
But you can't say that at a brunch.
Not always.
So you say something vague, like, I'm exploring some options, which can mean anything from applying to jobs to staring at the ceiling.
Sometimes both.
Usually both.
There's something very exposed about not knowing what comes next. Because a clear plan gives you a way to present yourself. Even if the plan changes, it gives people something to understand.
Yes. People are much more comfortable with you when you have a sentence.
A sentence?
Like, I'm moving for work. I'm going back to school. I'm focusing on my relationship. I'm saving for a house. I'm starting a business. People like a sentence. They relax when your life has a label.
And when it doesn't, you can feel like you're making them uncomfortable.
Exactly. Even if they're not judging you, you feel the awkward pause, like, oh, I don't have a neat answer.
That can make a person feel behind, even if they're simply between chapters.
Between chapters. Yeah. But the between part can last so long.
It can.
And nobody really tells you how long it might last. You think transition is supposed to be quick, like a hallway. You walk through it, and then you're in the next room. Sometimes it's not a hallway. Sometimes it's like living in a hallway.
That's such a good image.
It's not a fun image.
No, but it's true. And it captures that sense of being neither here nor there.
You're not who you were, but you're not fully someone new yet. You don't want the old life back exactly, but you don't know what the new one is supposed to be.
And that can feel like nothing is happening, when actually a lot is happening internally.
Yes, but internal change is so rude because it doesn't look like anything.
very inconsiderate.
Very. You can spend months becoming more honest with yourself, and from the outside, it looks like you're just taking longer to answer texts.
Being quieter.
Yeah. Or not going out as much. Or not having exciting updates.
But maybe the exciting update is I'm not forcing myself into things just because I'm afraid of being late.
That's huge. That's actually huge.
It is, but it doesn't always get applause.
No. And maybe it shouldn't need applause, but sometimes you want someone to notice.
Of course.
Like, I'm trying really hard over here. It just doesn't photograph well.
It feels like the invisible season we're talking about.
Yeah, the invisible season. When you're growing, but not in a way that makes a clean story.
And people may not know how much effort it takes just to stay patient with yourself.
Patience with yourself is hard, especially when you keep seeing reminders that other people's lives are moving.
What kind of reminders hit you the most?
Honestly, group chats.
Interesting.
Because you see life updates in real time. Someone sends a photo of their new place. Someone says they're going away for the weekend with their partner. Someone is talking about a promotion. Someone is busy with family stuff. And again, you're happy. You really are. But then you look at your own day, and it's like, I answered emails and bought bananas.
Which is a perfectly valid day.
It is. I support bananas.
As we all should.
You know what I mean. Their life feels like it has chapters. Yours feels like errands.
That's a painful distinction.
Yeah, chapters versus errands. And sometimes I think the ordinary parts of life feel heavier when you don't have a larger story around them.
That makes sense. If you feel connected to a direction, even small tasks feel like part of something. But if you're uncertain, the same tasks can feel like evidence that nothing is changing.
Exactly. Laundry becomes existential.
Laundry has a way of doing that.
It really does. You're folding shirts and suddenly thinking, is this my life?
And then you realize everyone, even people with very full lives, still has laundry.
That's true. No one escapes laundry.
Deeply grounding truth.
Very grounding. Very tragic.
But maybe that's also helpful. Because even when people move forward, life is still made of ordinary things. They still have dull days. They still feel unsure. They still wonder if they chose correctly.
Yeah, I forget that. I turn other people's lives into a montage.
That's a great way to say it.
I do. I imagine them just moving from beautiful moment to beautiful moment. New job, dinner party, weekend trip, meaningful conversation, perfect morning coffee.
And no lost keys?
No lost keys, no weird stomach ache, no crying in the car.
But real life has all of that.
It does. Even the lives we envy have weird stomach aches.
That may be the episode title.
Please don't.
Fair.
But it helps to remember. Not in a dismissive way, like, oh, everyone struggles, so your feelings don't matter. More like, everyone's life is more unfinished than it looks.
Yes. That feels important.
The fact that other people are moving doesn't mean they have arrived. Maybe the fact that you're still doesn't mean you're failing.
I think stillness gets judged very quickly.
It really does. We treat it like laziness or fear or wasted time. And sometimes sometimes, okay, maybe stillness can be avoidance. I've definitely avoided things.
Same.
But sometimes stillness is recovery, or listening, or not rushing into the wrong life just so you can look like you have one.
That's a very good distinction.
I've definitely made choices just because I wanted an answer.
An answer to give other people?
Yes, and to give myself. Like, if I choose something, then I can stop feeling undefined. Even if the thing doesn't fit, at least it's offing.
That's a very human temptation.
It is. And sometimes you don't realize you did it until later. You're like, oh, I didn't want this. I wanted the relief of appearing decisive.
There's so much pressure to appear decisive.
So much. Especially when everyone seems to be building something, you feel like you should be building too. Even if you don't know what.
And that can make slowness feel irresponsible.
Yes. You're supposed to apologize for needing time.
I wonder if part of the comfort is realizing that not all timelines are visible in the same way. Some people's growth is external first. They move, they start something, they commit to something. Other people's growth is internal first. They question, they release, they rebuild quietly.
I like that. External first and internal first.
And neither one is automatically better.
You can get into the relationship and still feel lonely.
Exactly.
And you can be single, uncertain, living in a small room, not posting anything exciting, and still be growing in a really deep way.
Yes.
That's hard to believe when you're in it, though.
Very hard.
Because deep growth often looks like nothing. It looks like saying no. It looks like resting. It looks like having the same conversation with yourself 50 times until one day you finally believe the answer.
It looks like not repeating something you would have repeated before.
Yes. And nobody sees that. Like, nobody claps because you didn't text the person who makes you anxious.
Maybe they should.
Honestly, they should. Tiny applause.
Quiet applause. Appropriate for the podcast.
Very soft applause.
But you're right, there are private victories that don't look like milestones, but they change the direction of a life.
That makes me feel better. Because I think when you're behind, or when you feel behind, you start counting only the obvious things.
Job title, relationship status, money, apartment, location, social life.
Yes. And those things matter. I don't want to pretend they don't. It's not shallow to want stability or love or direction.
No, it isn't.
They're not the only proof that a life is becoming something.
That's exactly it.
Sometimes proof is just, I'm not as mean to myself as I used to be. Or I can sit with uncertainty for 10 minutes longer than before.
Or I can be happy for someone else without abandoning myself.
That one is big.
Because maybe that's the hardest part of this feeling. Holding both. I'm happy for you. And I'm sad for me.
Yeah. And letting both be true, without making yourself the villain.
It's strange how often we think a good person should only feel one clean feeling at a time.
Yes. Like, if I'm happy for you, I can't also ache a little.
But humans are not that simple.
No. We're messy little layered creatures.
We are.
I remember a friend telling me she was moving in with her boyfriend. And I love her. I love him. It was good news. And I was smiling. And I meant it. But after we hung up, I just sat on my bed and stared at the wall for a while.
What do you think you were feeling?
I think I felt not replaced exactly, but like her life was getting fuller and mine was getting quieter. And I was embarrassed by that because her love had nothing to do with me.
but it still changed something.
Changed your sense of closeness.
Yeah. We used to be each other's person for random evenings. You know? Grocery store calls, long walks, last-minute dinners. And then suddenly, naturally, she had someone else for a lot of that. Which is beautiful. But also I missed being needed in that easy way.
That's very honest.
It's not the prettiest feeling, but it's real.
And I think it's beautiful in its own way. Not because it's painless, but because it comes from love and attachment. You missed a version of the friendship.
Yeah. And I had to learn that a friendship changing doesn't mean it wasn't real.
That's hard.
So hard. Because when you're already feeling left behind, any change can feel like evidence. Like, see, everyone leaves eventually. Even when they're not leaving. Just living.
Exactly. They're just living, and I'm glad they're living. I just wanted my life to feel alive, too.
That sentence feels very tender.
It's true. Sometimes it's not that you want what they have exactly. You just want your own life to feel like it's opening.
Yes. Like something is opening for you, too.
A door, a window, tiny crack, something.
And when it doesn't, when it hasn't yet, you can start to feel like life is happening somewhere else.
That is such a lonely feeling.
It really is.
Life is happening somewhere else. In other apartments, other cities, other relationships, other group chats. And you're just kind of watching from your little corner.
Almost like standing outside a warm restaurant at night.
Yeah. Everyone inside is laughing. You're on the sidewalk pretending you were just passing by.
That image hurts.
Sorry.
No, it's right.
But I think a lot of people know that feeling. Even people who look busy. It's not always about being alone physically. You can be surrounded and still feel like the real life is happening just beyond you.
Because the feeling is not only about events, it's about belonging to your own life.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe when you feel left behind, part of what you're missing is that sense of, I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yes. And sometimes people say, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I know they mean well, but it can feel annoying. It can feel too neat. Too neat. Like, am I? Because this feels weird.
Maybe it's gentler to say, you are where you are. That can still become something meaningful.
I like that much more.
It doesn't force you to pretend the season feels good.
Right. Because sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes being in a slower timeline is boring and scary and lonely. And I don't want to put a cute bow on that.
No. There's no need to romanticize it.
But I also don't want to shame it.
That balance feels important.
Yeah. Like, this is hard. And I'm not broken for being here.
Exactly.
Because shame makes the stuck feeling so much worse.
It does. Shame turns a season into an identity.
Say that again, actually.
Shame turns a season into an identity. Instead of, I'm in a stuck season, it becomes, I am a stuck person.
Yes. That's exactly exactly what happens. And then every little thing confirms it. You wake up late, stuck person. You don't know what to do with your weekend, stuck person. Someone gets promoted, stuck person.
It becomes a story you keep proving to yourself.
It's such a heavy story.
Very heavy.
And not always true. Usually not fully true. Maybe there are stuck parts, but there are also parts of you that are paying attention, changing, waiting, resting, trying again.
That's much more accurate. Kinder, but not fake.
Think of it like everything's perfect, and there are ways that you don't worry. It's like worry. Mostly.
Comfort doesn't have to erase the difficulty. That's the tone I think this topic needs. I keep thinking about timelines. How we talk about falling behind as if there's one shared schedule everyone is supposed to follow.
There really isn't.
There isn't. But it can feel like it is because certain milestones are socially louder than others.
Socially louder. That's a good phrase.
Engagements are loud. Promotions are loud. Moving is loud. Having a baby is loud. Buying a home is loud.
Meanwhile, quietly becoming less afraid of your own life is silent,
Very silent.
but maybe just as important.
I think so. And some people hit the loud milestones and then later have to do the quiet work.
Yes, the order is different for everyone.
That's comforting. The order is different.
Some people build outward first and inward later. Some people have to build inward first before anything outward makes sense.
And some people rebuild a bunch of times.
Most people, probably.
Yeah. We don't say that enough. You can start over more than once. You can be unsure more than once. You can think you found your direction and then realize you need to turn. That doesn't mean the earlier path was wasted. No. But it can feel like it.
It can. Especially if you're watching other people continue on paths that seem stable. Mm-hmm. And you're like, why am I always revising?
That's a tiring feeling.
It is. But maybe revising is part of being honest.
I think it can be.
I'd rather revise than live inside a life I chose just because I was scared to look behind.
That's beautifully said.
Thank you. I'm half asleep, so maybe the truth is easier.
That might be our secret here.
Late night honesty.
It's a particular kind.
Yeah. Softer.
Softer and maybe less performative.
Mm-hmm. During the day, I can convince myself I'm fine. At night, I'm like, okay, I'm scared everyone is passing me.
Night has a way of bringing that up.
It does. Especially when the world gets quiet and there's nothing to distract you. Suddenly, all the comparisons you ignored during the day come sit at the end of your bed.
That's a terrible image, but accurate.
Little comparison ghosts.
They are very annoying.
Very.
What do you do when that feeling comes up?
Honestly, sometimes I do the wrong things first.
Like what?
I scroll. Terrible idea.
Usually not helpful.
Never helpful. I look for proof that I'm behind. And the internet is like, here you go, babe.
Endless proof. Carefully arranged.
Exactly. And then I feel worse. But when I'm being a little more caring with myself, I try to come back to my actual life. Not the imagined race. Just the room I'm in, the day I had, the next small thing.
That sounds grounding.
It is. Not magical, but grounding. Like, okay, I don't know the next 5 years. Can I wash my face? Can I make tea? Can I send one message? Can I sleep?
There's dignity in the small next thing.
Yeah. And it sounds almost too simple, but sometimes the big timeline question is too much. So you need a smaller question.
What can I care for tonight?
Yes, exactly. What can I care for tonight? My body, dishes, inbox, tired little heart.
The tired little heart deserves care.
It does. Even when it's being dramatic.
Especially then, maybe?
Maybe.
I like that you said coming back to your actual life. Because comparison pulls you into imagined lives. Your imagined version of someone else's life and your imagined version of the life you should have had.
That's so true. None of it is fully real.
But the cup on your table is real. The bed you need to make is real. The friend you could call is real. The walk you could take tomorrow is real.
And sometimes that feels disappointing at first.
Of course.
Because you want the big answer, you want the whole map to light up.
But sometimes you only get a lamp.
It's nice. Sometimes you only get a lamp.
And a lamp is still something.
It is. It doesn't show you the whole road, but it lets you not trip over your shoes.
Exactly.
We're a practical podcast tonight.
Bananas and lamps.
The essentials. But really, I think a slower timeline asks you to build trust in tiny amounts, which is annoying. I would prefer a dramatic breakthrough.
Most of us would.
But tiny trust is what actually happens. One day you survive a feeling you thought would swallow you. One day you enjoy your own company for an hour. One day someone else's news doesn't hurt as sharply. One day you realize you're not checking as much.
And those are real movements.
They are. Quiet, but real.
Maybe that's something worth saying clearly. Movement doesn't always feel like motion.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes movement feels like staying and seeing something differently.
Or staying and not abandoning yourself.
Yes.
Because sometimes when I feel behind, I start being mean to myself as a way to create urgency. Like if I shame myself enough, maybe I'll finally change.
That's a common impulse.
But it doesn't really work. It just makes me tired.
Shame can create panic, but panic is not the same as direction.
Exactly. Panic makes me want to grab any door.
Even one that doesn't lead anywhere good.
Yes. So I'm trying to learn a quieter kind of movement. Not passive, not giving up, just not whipping myself forward.
That sounds healthier.
It feels slower,
Healthy often feels slower than panic.
annoying, but true.
Very annoying.
I think that's the part I'd want someone listening to hear. Like, maybe your slower pace isn't proof that you don't care. Maybe it's proof that you're trying not to betray yourself.
That's very gentle.
I hope so. Because I think people in invisible seasons need gentleness. They already know what they haven't done. They don't need another voice listing it.
Yes. You need a voice that says, I see that this is hard.
And maybe you're not the only one,
You're definitely not the only one.
even though it feels that way.
Especially because people rarely announce uncertainty.
True. Nobody posts. Still confused. 3rd year in a row.
Maybe they should.
I would like that post.
I think a lot of people would.
Probably. It would be very refreshing.
There's relief in honest unfinishedness.
Honest unfinishedness. I love that.
It takes away the feeling that everyone else is complete.
Yeah, and nobody is complete. That's the thing. We talk like people get settled and then they're done, but everyone keeps becoming.
Everyone keeps becoming.
Some people just have nicer lighting while they do it.
That is painfully true.
But it helps. Because when I remember that, I don't feel as permanently behind. I feel more like, okay, I'm in a quieter part of becoming.
A quieter part of becoming. That's a beautiful phrase.
It feels true. Not glamorous, but true.
And maybe the quieter parts matter more than we realize while we're in them.
I think so. I've had seasons that looked like nothing, and later I realized they changed my whole life.
In what way?
I think they changed what I was willing to accept, or what I could hear in myself. At the time, it just looked like being sad and confused and not doing much. But actually, I was slowly admitting the truth about certain things.
That's not small.
No, it just didn't look like progress.
Sometimes progress is becoming unable to lie to yourself in the old way.
Ooh, yes. And that can make life messier before it gets clearer.
Because the old answers stop working before the new ones arrive.
Exactly. That in between is brutal.
It is.
But maybe it's not empty.
No, maybe it's not empty at all.
Maybe it's where your life is quietly rearranging itself. I like that. Quietly rearranging. Not in a dramatic way. More like furniture being moved slowly in another room. And you keep bumping into things.
Yes, unfortunately.
But eventually, there's more space. Hopefully. Hopefully. I don't want to make it too neat.
No, that's fair. Sometimes it takes longer than we want. Sometimes there isn't a clear lesson right away.
And sometimes you're just tired of being patient.
Yes, that's real too. I don't want to be patient all the time. Sometimes I want life to hurry up and be kind to me.
Yeah. Life, please make one thing easy.
Just one.
Just one would be lovely.
And when it hasn't been easy, when you've had to wait or start over or watch other people receive things you hoped for, it makes sense that you'd feel tender.
Tender is the right word. Not bitter. Tender.
A bruised feeling.
Yes. Like you're happy, but you have a bruise exactly where the news lands.
That's very honest.
I think most people have those bruises. They just don't talk about them because they don't want to seem ungrateful.
But naming it doesn't make you ungrateful.
No, it makes you honest.
Maybe it lets you celebrate people without pretending you don't have your own ache.
That feels much better. Like, I can love you and also take care of the part of me that hurts.
That's mature, actually.
I'm trying.
I think trying counts.
I hope it does.
It does here.
Good.
As we get close to the end, I keep coming back to the idea that life does not move on one universal schedule. It really doesn't.
No. And the schedule we imagine is usually made from pieces of other people's lives anyway.
That's true.
We take one person's relationship, another person's career, another person's confidence, another person's home. And then we build this fake person who has everything,
And then we compare ourselves to that fake person.
which is so unfair. That person doesn't exist.
Nobody has everyone's best chapter at once.
Exactly. But your brain makes a collage and then uses it to insult you.
The brain can be a harsh editor.
Very harsh.
Maybe a gentler practice is to come back to one life at a time. Their life is their life. My life is my life.
Simple, but hard.
Very hard.
Their life is their life. My life is my life. And mine is not over just because it's quieter right now.
Yes. Mine is not over because it's quieter right now.
That feels like something someone might need tonight.
I think so.
And maybe also, I can be late to some things and still arrive.
Absolutely.
I can take longer and still build something real.
Yes.
I can be unsure and still be worthy of love.
Very much so.
And I can watch other people move forward without turning my own life into a failure story.
That feels like the heart of it.
Yeah. Their movement is not your failure.
Their movement is not your failure.
I need to write that down somewhere.
That's a good one.
Maybe on a sticky note.
Very practical. We love practical. We do. And I think that's a gentle place to leave it. Not with a big answer, but with a little more room. If you're in a season that feels slow or invisible or uncertain, it doesn't mean you've been forgotten by life. It may just mean your timeline is quieter than the ones you keep measuring it against.
And quiet doesn't mean empty.
No, quiet doesn't mean empty.
It might just mean something is still forming.
Veronica, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you, Mike. This one felt really soft.
It did. And thank you for listening to Sleepers Podcast. Wherever you are tonight, whether life feels clear or uncertain, busy or very still, I hope you can be a little gentler with yourself. You are not failing just because your path is taking its time. Rest well, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.